Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Screen Chronicles. I'm Steve. With me, as always, is Mr. Long, Mr. D. Long, and today we are talking about Outlander, Season 7, Episode 12. If you're new to listening to us talk and you're like, what is this? First, we're going to give a spoiler-free talk about it, like a general review, and then we're going to get into a spoiler discussion, recap. And we're only doing one episode today because a lot happens.
It was a good episode, though.
Good episode. And then we'll probably lump up. I think there's 16 episodes this season, so we might lump up the next 4 for like a final review, or the next 2. Whatever it is, though, the last episode batch, we'll make it a final review for the whole season.
There's no rules.
But yeah, spoiler-free thoughts, Mr. Long. What did you think about this episode?
We were pretty critical in our first episode, covering episodes 1 through 3, about the slowness, the little bit of drama, a little too dramatic. Not a whole heck of a lot happens. Well, this episode was like, shut up, in your face. Like, they must have gone back and they listened to us, and then they went and we gotta show them. Mm-hmm. It was a great episode. I have to say, like, from beginning to end, it felt like it was like a good old-fashioned Outlander episode.
Yeah.
And we'll get into the details of why. There were a couple times it was like, oh, this really is an Outlander episode. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Mm-hmm. If you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. This had all the Outlander stuff. Yeah, and we had a lot of people commenting on our last Outlander talk, last podcast, YouTube, basically saying like, oh, they must have seen episode 12 and then gone back to it. And then everyone was saying, wait till you see episode 12. Wait till you see episode 12. Mm-hmm. And we've seen it. And I like it. Everything you said, it's got all the classic Outlander stuff. And it's just like, oh, like this is still that show that we used to watch. Okay.
Well, I think we finally got like a situation, a plot with some real substance, some real obviously human emotion, and you can see where it's going to build from here a little bit. Where we were a little void of direction in the first 3 episodes. Like, where's this going to go? Now it's like, I can't wait for next week. You know, it's nice to have that feeling back.
Did your wife like it?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. This was a good one. Let's just get into it. Let's get into spoiler talk, recap. So yeah, just a little summary of what happened.
Last 5 minutes of last episode.
Last 5 minutes. Claire and Lord John have like an angry bang. Jamie shows up, shows up at the house. He's alive.
A little anticlimactic, like return from the dead.
Yeah, he's
just walks in the room.
He never to the characters. They all seemed like Jamie's been dead forever. For me, it was like, I haven't seen Jamie in like 40 minutes. You know, like
we knew he wasn't dead. Yeah. You got to go another episode or something. You got to drag it out, make us start to believe.
Also, too, they're talking and they drop that Lord John is Jamie's son. Not Lord John, rather. William.
Yeah.
Is Jamie's son and not Lord John's.
He overhears it in the hallway.
The British are coming. So
it's like a very Pirates of the Caribbean ending.
Yeah.
Like Jack Sparrow and Will Turner kind of ending. Like they're both like working together, but pretend they're enemies to get out, you know.
Exactly. And so Jamie takes Lord John out like as a hostage at gunpoint. William is in shock and awe about his dad being this guy, a rebel. Not just that it's a different dad too, but like who his dad represents. Yeah.
A Jacobite and now a rebel in the American Revolution. So it's like this guy who was raised up in the British royalty, or the British I don't know what the word I'm trying to think of is, but
I would say like royalty.
The royalty and the army, and really believes in the cause of what the British are doing. That sucks to find out, you know, from his point of view, like the people he's been taught to fight against his whole life. So
wild. And then we immediately go and Jamie and Lord John, they make it through the town, sort of hiding and talking. They get to the woods, and Lord John decides that this is the best time to come clean to Jamie. He says, I've had carnal knowledge of your wife. And then Jamie's like, what do you mean?
He thinks he's he's not even like taking it seriously at first, because he's like, I know you don't swing that way.
Yeah.
So like,
exactly.
Why, but I was surprised here with Lord John's reaction.
How so?
He was pretty defiant. I thought he would be more apologetic, more like, look, this was a situation. Like, I had to save her. And then it just happened. I'm sorry it happened. I thought that's how he would react, but he was a little bit more like defiant about it, a little bit defensive about what he did with Claire.
Well, that's what I kind of wonder if he was like mad at Jamie for like being dead, because Lord John loves Jamie, but he's friend zoned. Yeah, so I was like, is he just like mad? Jamie, was like dead, and now he like wants to be friends again, but he's just emotional. Yeah, but yeah, and then the conversation escalates though, with Jamie asking more about it, and then finally like believing him kind of.
Well, because he's like, yeah, I slept with your wife. He's like, no, you fucking didn't. He's like, yes, I fucking did.
Yeah.
And Jamie's like it's starting to click with him, like this actually could have happened. Then it gets real.
Yeah. Lord John's like, we weren't making love to each other. We were both fucking you. And Jamie just instantly drops him.
Yeah.
And I was like right out of the get-go, I was like, oh shit. And like, I was watching it before you, and I almost texted you right then and be like, Colby, you need to watch this, because like I'm already like hooked into this episode.
Yeah.
And I haven't felt that way with this season of Outlander very often. Right then, and was like, Colby, you need to watch this. But like, I was like, all right, let me wait and see if this episode stays like this engaging before I make a big deal about it.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert, it does stay like pretty engaging the entire time. This one went by so quick. I was never like looking at my phone or anything during this one, but he drops them. They go to, the Outlander theme song. They come back. Jamie is still just beating the shit out of Lord John.
And again, I thought they'd come back and Jamie would be apologizing, like, sorry, I don't know what got a hold of me, and then John would be like, I understand, no. They continue. It surprised me.
Yeah, I was because they've been friends for a long time, and they've had, a very unique sort of friendship. So I thought that this would kind of resolve into some like talking, throwing it out. They both somehow get back to Claire or something, and we go back to like the regular sort of not too crazy Outlander stuff that's been happening the last several episodes. But no, Jamie just keeps beating the shit out of him, and he rolls down a hill. And next thing you know, like a bunch of these hillbilly rebel rangers show up, start asking questions, and you're just immediately like, oh shit, like this is like
Jamie doesn't have like any
trouble shows up.
I don't think Jamie has like any proof of who he is.
No.
So
yeah, and they're like, well, is this your prisoner? And it's yeah. And they're basically trying to figure out, like, is this a political prisoner or not? Or like a military prisoner, rather, or not?
It made me think of, I thought for a second it was going to take the Harry Potter approach, where like he disfigured Lord John Grey enough that they wouldn't recognize him or something. But no. I thought that's where it was going.
He hit him.
These were the Snatchers.
Hard. Yeah, like that. He hit him so hard though, like his eye has just become like its own planet. Like, yeah. It's so swollen. I thought the same thing. I was literally feeling like the Snatchers from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Coming in.
But no, they decide that Jamie. They basically are like, don't believe Jamie, and they're like, well, you don't have any proof of who you are, so I could either take both of you or you let us take him. And so Jamie's, I think, thinking to himself, Lord John will be all right, I guess. I don't know. Because I thought Jamie would be like, okay, and then like immediately go and save him, like ambush them or something. But no, Jamie goes and does other side quests while Lord John is getting taken, and like they're talking about hanging him. Like,
yeah, he's just like, well, I guess this quest line's done. Like, I can't do. He just leaves. He does a bunch of other cool shit. So I don't know, because like if another guy is just like, I fucked your wife, but I was really fucking you. Like, I'd be pretty pissed too. Like,
no, totally. Jamie, I get his. I know I'm saying like I was surprised that John wasn't more apologetic, but Jamie's feelings are totally justified. I mean, come on.
I'm still surprised though that it's happening, because Jamie, like, recently has been like a pretty rational guy. Like, he used to be really hot-tempered Scotsman.
I think all in all, and he has a difficult conversation with Claire later.
Yeah.
I think he was rational. I think he was as rational as you could possibly be in the situation.
Oh yeah.
Like he's still like, you have to be mad. You can't control that. But sure. he still was like, I'll always love you, Claire. And she explained the situation. Also wasn't super apologetic about it either.
No.
Which
was, I don't know.
Which also was weird.
Yeah.
Like I just thought they would both like be like, we're so sorry this happened. Like, no, they both kind of like don't regret. I think she even says she doesn't regret what happened or something. I don't know. Maybe she does. But that's the tone, is like they don't really regret what they did that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, the approach is weird. But again, Jamie, I think, reacted as good as anyone possibly could in that situation. When he was talking to Claire, at least. I mean, he almost killed John, but but again, John took a totally different approach than I thought he would. So anyway,
it was funny and just surprising and exciting. Yeah. Like, just the fact that Jamie was like, yeah, sure, like, you're gay. Like, there's no way you banged my wife. Like,
I love that it went from that to the realization. So John gets taken to the rebel camp, and actually it's one of his former colleagues in the British Army, who has switched to the rebels, who he meets and encounters, and he thinks their initial reaction, they used to be, I guess, kind of friends, cordial. And it seems like the guy talks to him. He's like, don't worry, I'll put a good word in for General Washington, and you'll be all right. You'll be all right. And by the way, John almost got away with it too, because he was wearing Jamie's jacket, so he kind of looked like a rebel, or at least a non-participant. And he wasn't wearing his British red, And he had a letter he had just received in his pocket. He didn't even know what it was yet. He hadn't read it yet, so he was being honest with them. But it was calling him back into service.
Yeah. So the big thing
blew his cover.
Yeah. The big thing for them was, can we take this guy prisoner, like a military prisoner, and if he's not serving, he's just a civilian, we can't take him as like a military prisoner. We can't say he's a spy or anything like that. But he does say his name. He says his name is Lord John, and they're all pissed off about this Paullee massacre that happened when Lord John's cousin, Charles Grey, led troops and killed like 100 civilians and soldiers without warning, like no way to defend themselves. And they call it the Paullee massacre. So they're already mad at the Greys because of this group.
And John Grey knows nothing about it, by the way.
Yeah.
So,
but they're already they want to take Lord John as soon as they figure out his name. And they're just trying to see if they can. And they're like, well, I saw him with his military reds on in town when I was in town in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And if you remember, I don't know if we said that or not, but Lord John was wearing that because Mrs. Woodcock is
Continue.
But she is a black woman with this house. Even though she's free, it's still like the British are like, should we respect that or not? So he was basically acting as a deterrent with his uniform on to be like, don't be trying to fuck with this place.
Yeah, and I misspoke earlier. It wasn't that Lord John was trying to pretend to be a rebel. He was telling them, I'm Lord John Grey.
Yeah.
Straight up. But he was trying to tell them that he was no longer participating in the war.
Yeah.
That's where the letter got him into trouble. But
he didn't even know. But it did.
He didn't know he had it. Yeah.
This group of guys though wanted to take him either way as soon as they found out his name. But I love John, like with these rebels, like he just got the shit beat out of him by Jamie, and now he's getting kidnapped, and he's still like holding his chest up. He's still saying who he is. Like he's not taking shit from anyone. Like I'm just like, Lord John is fucking awesome.
Yeah. He's awesome. He's an awesome character. David Barry, who plays him, does such a good job. One of the consistently awesome characters of the show.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me very, very scared. Let's continue. We'll get to that. So the other main part of this episode, oh, by the way, to wrap up John, is that he has that conversation with his former buddy, thinking he's going to be all right. But the doctor, I forget his name, that worked with Claire. So he's a friend. He was also working on Lord John's, the guy that Lord John sent Claire for. So they have a relationship.
The guy.
Yeah.
He's everywhere.
He's everywhere. He is everywhere. And he basically gets the sense from that they're going to actually hang him, even though Lord John is under the impression they're not. And so he tells Lord John this, and he eventually is going to try to help him escape. So that's where we're at with that. The other main part of this episode is William going through whatever it is, you go through when you learn that you've been lied to your whole life.
You're even if it was for bastard.
Even if it was for the best thing, like reason for him, because like if he was Jamie's son and they just like lived that out as like a bastard, he would have been disregarded. He probably would have been, who knows how he would have grown up, Definitely not in a as pleasant a way as he ended up doing it. So what they did was really the best for him as a child and for him to grow up. And I think eventually maybe he'll come to terms with that. But like in the immediate moment, that's like, you're just pissed.
That's right. He knows nothing. And like the whole situation of his birth is so like interesting because William's real mother was like this rich woman, part of like whatever, it was a lord or duchess or whatever that group was, that Jamie was basically like a military prisoner servant to after he was captured at Culloden and after he was Lord John's prisoner and then let go. Anyway, though, so Jamie's like basically a servant, military prisoner for this rich family. The girl thought he was hot and wanted to bang him.
Like every person who meets Jamie.
Everyone who meets Jamie. And of course, she's also going to get married off to this big, fat, other rich guy for like family connections. And all. Like, that's how things worked back then. But she wanted to, lose her flower to someone hot and nice instead of like this guy. And so they do it. She also gets married. Then they have a kid. And the guy's like, I don't even remember if I did it with you or not when this happened. And at the pregnancy, there's a whole standoff. Jamie shoots the guy the woman was married to. She dies after giving birth to now William. And the aunt, so that woman's sister, takes over and becomes her mother. And Lord John like basically agrees with Jamie to step in, marry her. So
one of the great bro moments of all time.
But that's back when Lord John was he always brings this up. This is when Jamie offered himself to Lord John to give this kid a dad. And Lord John said no.
I mean, when William hears that, he's gonna understand,
dude.
He's gonna be like,
it's gonna be so fucked up.
So
I wonder
basically,
if he even knows about his dad. You know, about his dad's like true sexuality.
Well,
and
so yeah, I don't know yet, but he goes to Claire at one point in this episode, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm glad he's going to get this explained to by Claire. Like, I feel like she's the one who can do it in the most eloquent way, the most understanding way, and I think she's doing a decent job.
Yeah,
but he's still the pain is so raw, you know. He goes out. He even like William has been such a stand-up guy since we've known him. He has a crush on this the Quaker girl. He really likes her, but she and Ian are a thing. And he even gets like pulled into a brothel, and he gets violent with the worker. And
this whole scene too was funny because the woman pulls him out. He's real upset. He'd like destroyed the house on his way out.
Yeah.
This prostitute woman.
By the way, I love how they clean it up. Claire and is it Mrs. Woodcock? They clean it, or no? Is it I'm not sure who it was, but they're cleaning it up like, oh, you know, that's understandable. He was going to break stuff.
Yeah,
you know, I kind of like that. Like,
well, and like that's like, well, you know, his real dad is Jamie, and Jamie used to be pretty hot tempered, stubborn guy. Yeah. It's like, well, this makes sense.
Anyway,
but yeah, William goes into this brothel, and the prostitute woman's like, "Oh, you can wash up over here." She sees he's got bloody knuckles, and like means for him to wash his hands at like this water basin. He takes his pants off and washes his dick. It was just so funny. Like she comes in, he's just standing there, just straight Winnie the Pooh with his shirt on and his pants off.
Yeah,
washing his dick. She's like, "I made your hands."
Winnie the Pooh. Yeah,
just straight Winnie the Pooh going on.
I don't know what's weirder, a bear wearing a shirt or Winnie the Pooh not wearing pants. Anyway, so so then he actually
like smacks a glass of wine or something out of her hand.
Yeah, and she's not going to take that, so she kicks him out. He like, I think immediately regrets it. Like he's like, "Whoa, like what came over me?"
Yeah.
You know, he leaves. He's really having a tough time. And I think the next time we see him is when he sees, what's the Quaker girl's name? Rachel. And he sees her, and he's like, first time, like, oh, someone I'm happy to see. He actually looks happy to see her.
Yeah, now he's like acting as like a gate guard, like a checkpoint for like people coming in and out of Philly. And he sees Rachel and Ian roll up.
Yeah. And a couple different feelings, I think, toward Ian here. A, he's with the girl he wants. And then B, he's like, this is just another person who's lied to me as long as I've known him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I love Rachel's reaction too. So like when William finally like breaks the ice with it and is like, cousin, I love Rachel just like, knew it. Fucking knew it.
She's like, I could see, and she's like, he's like, yeah, you knew it too? And she's like, no, I just saw it. Like, I could just
saw it. Like, it's obvious.
But again, I just love how this scene like escalates, because you think William's like he had that incident happen at the brothel. You think he's got it like under wraps now. And he seems fine, and he sees them, and he seems happy. He's friends with both of them, and he likes Rachel.
Right.
And you remember he saved Ian from that the crazy guy in the stables.
Right.
So he seems pretty cordial, and then Ian and Rachel are like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go get married," and they have no idea that William likes her or anything. And William just clocks Ian. It's just like, oh, hi. And just like, whoa.
I guess it's just a classic case of a girl just being like, well, I wasn't flirting with him. I was just being nice to him. Like, but the guy falls in love with her because he thinks
she's friends.
We're just friends. We're just being
friends.
And yeah. And William, maybe if Ian never showed up, maybe it would have gone somewhere. I don't know. But
I think he would have tried.
Oh yeah. I don't know what she would have done. But clocks her. Or clocks him. Clocks him. And Ian's not going to take that, so
Ian's just like, what the hell? You could see it on his face. He gets up, he's like what the, because like none of them know what's going on. And right. And obviously William's just like a powder keg right now. You know what I mean?
Oh, just yeah. And he orders him to be arrested.
Yeah. So then they start fighting, and they eventually. So like he's like, oh, like, well, but first he's like real cordial. He's like, oh my god, like I'm sorry.
That's right.
And like, and I thought that's like when it was where it was going to end, but like he just gets pissed again because he thinks about Ian knowing who he really is and not telling him, and because he's like, sorry, I'm just mad that Jamie's my dad. And Ian's like, oh, don't worry, cousin. And he's like, what? And
again, it's like, okay, all right, I get where your feelings are coming from at that point. So, it's like, I'll take the punch. It's like,
but it's so fun because it's like he's calmed down. He hears this. They go back at it, and he gets Ian taken away by the redcoats. And you're like, oh damn. And then Rachel's just like mad at him and saying like, why are you doing this? Like, this is terrible. Like, don't do it. And then William's just like, fuck it. And he just kisses her. And you're just like, oh my God. Like, this guy is losing. He's losing his fucking mind right now.
Yeah.
And then she
reels away. Yeah. Slaps him. Oh yeah. Because that's interesting because she's a Quaker. They don't believe in violence. And she slaps him and she's like, look, now you made me break like my oath, So William's having a really bad day, by the way. Really bad day.
Again, I just love how this scene just escalates. Like Jamie and Lord John, how it just kind of like okay, now they're gonna cool off. Nope. It's just good. And like the same thing happened. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I lost my cool.
just again.
And
but it felt real. It felt honest to like how emotions work, I think.
Yeah.
I think the actor who plays William did a really good job.
Yeah.
I think I can start to see, I don't necessarily think the actors look that much alike, Jamie and William. I don't think they look crazy alike, but I think I can see some of the mannerisms that I think he's trying to emulate from some of the looks that he was starting to give, especially when he was starting to like be really sad and like a little bit more disheveled. I was like, okay, I can see a little bit of Jamie in him here.
They're both like basically like the same height and like similar build, similar like bone structure. You can tell they probably both have the same.
We just had a little bit more from his mother's side, I guess. Yeah. It's believable. It's enough to believe it
for sure. But he also looks like Lord John to me though too. He looks like
there's a weird thing with that. I don't know if we've talked about this before.
I don't think so.
I've met several people, and maybe it's like a trick on your mind when you don't know, and you just make up fake.
Actually, we might have talked
attributes about them that you think look similar. I've known people who were adopted, and I didn't know they were adopted. And I always thought, I was like, oh, they look like a good mix of their mom and dad, or like, oh, she looks like, or he looked. That's happened several times to me, where I've thought the adopted person like actually looks like their parents, but in reality, they have no genetic connection.
Yeah.
So it's a weird phenomenon. I wonder if in the comments, somebody's listening to this part of if you've ever had that same phenomenon, or is it just me? But I think I wonder if it's a thing. I mean, we know that like environment has an influence on a lot of things, especially behavior, but looks shouldn't really, so.
Yeah. I mean, I guess nature, nurture, maybe, how to like, sometimes like people say like you start like people and their pets start to look kind of alike too,
Yeah.
That's I don't know, but obviously, so this is like a step up from that, obviously, but yeah, it's just so crazy how it escalates. Also, too, we forgot to mention really cool part after Jamie and the two, like you said, I thought Jamie was gonna go back and like immediately figure out like how to save Lord John. Nope, he's doing other shit. He goes and he meets General Washington, which is so cool.
They almost present it as if it's the first time we ever saw him. I thought,
yeah,
and I was like, oh, they're like giving it like a introduction, like we've never seen, and it's like nope. We've met him before. Is it the same actor?
I don't know. It didn't look like it to me.
No.
But also, too, when they met him, he was still a British officer. I don't think, like, this was back when there was the regulators. I don't know if you remember, Murtaugh was, like, the regulators. There weren't really, like, rebellion yet, but it was, like, people not really happy with, like, local government kind of stuff going on the British were doing.
Yeah.
And Washington was still a British officer. And I remember like we saw him then and it was like they were going to a play and stuff. And I was like, I hope that's not the only thing we ever see of George Washington in this show. And so we could, but like now like they're presenting him as like the king that he is, you know?
Yeah.
He's back, like they take him back there. He's all decked out in his uniform. And like there's clearly some reverence from like Jamie, but then they do because at first I was like, does the show not remember that they met? But they talk about everything I just said, that they met each other before, and which is cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah, they did.
And the fact that this meeting is basically, you know, Jamie delivering a letter. Is it from
France.
From France, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't know exactly what it says, but George Washington is like super impressed.
Yeah,
super impressed, and he commends. And this is like those moments in The Last Kingdom when like Alfred finally like acknowledges that. No, Jamie gets a lot of great acknowledgement throughout the whole show.
Yeah,
and Uhtred did not. You know, Uhtred a lot of times would be the hero, but like silently and would not get the credit. Jamie gets a lot of credit. And he's been promoted a lot, and he gets promoted here. He gets his own brigade, and he's pumped.
Yeah.
But it just still had that little bit of feeling of like, yes, like our favorite character's getting what he deserves. He gets commended by the most important person in the Revolutionary War, giving Jamie a critical role now, you know, a really critical role in the war. And now he's going to get his own brigade, and he's just like, I would be so honored, dude, to take that. He's like, dude, yes.
This is like every dude's fantasy.
I know.
It's like George Washington's like, you are the best we have.
We're going to give you a battalion. You get a whole battalion.
Yeah, it was so cool. And now, one, I'm just excited. It was so cool they had this scene in it. And then secondly, it's cool then too, because now you know Jamie's going back to, or he should be, doing some Revolutionary War stuff.
Which is exciting, because I thought we were getting away from, I thought it was like, oh, they're going back to Scotland. Mm-hmm. Again, Steve and I didn't read the books. You guys probably know what's going to happen. But I was like, oh, they're going back to Scotland. And like, that was it for the Revolutionary War. It was a little anticlimactic, you know, like we didn't get it quite as much as I wanted. But
Saratoga now it was cool.
Saratoga was great. It was great. But now we're going to get more, hopefully. So cool moment with General Washington.
Yeah, I'm hoping we get something with him and George Washington are at some battle together. I hope it's like a more well-known battle. You know what I mean? Or more significant for the war or something that Jamie gets to be in, and that would be cool.
That'd be cool.
Outlander people, you should get on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, what else then?
You know, the best part of this episode was
what?
Bree and Roger weren't in it. I'm just kidding. Roger's parts have actually been pretty cool, and Bree's got a good storyline going right now.
Yeah, I am curious what's going on. Bree. Oh yeah, someone said in the comments why they showed her like cutting herself in the kitchen is because I guess in real life she injured her hand and they wanted to like show her bandaging her hand up. I don't know, but I just I want
wouldn't ask any questions.
Like I've got nothing against Brie, but I want the rest of this season to not have her in it at all unless she injures herself.
No, we got to know what happened to.
I want it to just cut to her and be like,
I got to know what happened to Jemmy though,
and cut away.
She just did the most badass thing though. She finally
it is cool.
Clocked him with.
I do want to know what happens, and I want stuff, but I think it would just be so funny.
She clocked him with a frying pan. That dude's gonna wake up in the basement tied to a chair.
Yeah,
she's gonna waterboard him or something. No. So yeah, we're harsh on Brie and Roger. I think we've not like some of the.
I've always pretty much liked Roger, except for that time when he was like. When like Brie was trying to have sex with him, he's like, "So you just want to have sex with me?"
I know, that was frustrating.
I was like,
that was frustrating.
He's like, "So you're only gonna marry me if you get to have sex? You won't marry me, but you'll fuck me?" And
it's like, dude,
what are you talking about, dude? What are you talking about? Anyway, though, Jamie goes back to Claire. Let's maybe just wrap up William here too.
Yeah.
So after that though, let's actually before Jamie goes back to Claire, he's going back. He sees Ian tied to the back of a redcoat's wagon. He's like, "What the hell?" And he goes and he confronts William, which was great. Like pins him to a tree. Now he's like,
father son.
He's always been like Jamie's always kind of had like a fatherly sort of support of William, but he's never like crossed that line to tell him what to do. And now he's like, well, now he's just up in his face, telling him what he has to do, and he blackmails him. He's like, if you don't do it, like I'm going to your boss and I'm going to tell him you're a little Scottish bastard boy, and that makes him do it. And it was just great. It was another great scene, and like finally seeing the two of them.
I'm just so curious where their relationship will go. I hope it doesn't. I hope that sometime William comes around. Because Jamie's like also understanding of his feelings right now.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't like that he took Ian, but he understands he's not going to be happy right now. But Jamie's got more things to worry about right now, though. But just to wrap up William too. William ends up going to the brothel again, and
he frees Ian. He does free Ian.
He frees Ian.
Yeah.
He goes back. There's a bunch of British officers, and the girl that he had slap the thing out of her hand she's about to get like taken by this really like nasty British officer who's saying all these things, and so he basically like pays for so she doesn't have to do that, and he go to the room. He apologizes. He's like, I'm going to sleep in this chair. Just sleep the night. I don't know what you want to do, but like, I just basically wanted to give you a night off to say sorry. Like that wasn't me. And then she's like, you're really going to sleep in the chair. Come to the bed, yada, yada, yada. I stopped watching after that because I was like, just kidding.
Dude is, what is this dude doing getting there in that bed? Cooties. And
so she does it. She does the thing, and he's like, why did you make me break my vow? And it's like, dude, I feel really bad for you.
I know. She just gets right on top, just like back in Vikings when they were just ready to go instantly. No priming really needed. She just gets on.
He's like, oh no, stop, please.
It's like, oh, don't do it. And then, not to get too graphic, folks, but he finishes, and then he's like, why did you make
That's what I said. Dude, I feel so bad for you, man. Oh, jeez.
Why?
No.
And she's like, but a whore has an oath too, you know?
Okay. So anyway.
Well, let's talk about that officer real quick too. Like, it was so weird because he was like, he talked so proper and he was talking so proper, but he was saying like the most douchebag, like rapey things.
Ugh.
And you're like, this guy is just, but he's like talking like a pure gentleman, you know? It was just,
facade.
It was so like, damn, that guy's fucked up.
Yeah. I didn't know which way William was going to go at this point. I didn't know if he was just going to beat the crap out of her in the room.
I was a little afraid.
I was really wondering like which, but no, I think this shows like, okay, he's got a lot of Jamie in him.
Yeah.
Like he does. And John, like he has a huge code of honor that he's like betraying right now a little bit with all this, what's going on, understandably, but like, it's still there. He still, like, I think deep down knows who he is, even though he doesn't think he does right now. He's like totally lost. But like, I saw a little bit of Jamie and John in him there. Like when he like, it's like, I'm going to sleep in the chair. Like, I don't care what you do. Just wanted to protect you for the night, like, cool scene. Anyway, let's wrap up William. Let's get back.
Well, you know what else too has happened a lot in this episode, and it happens later when Jamie's talking with Claire. The word bugger keeps coming up. And
Googled it.
I did too. So I heard it a lot in Bernard Cornwell's books for what's the his first big character, Sharp, in the Sharp books.
Oh, Sharp now. Oh,
yeah. Those are pretty solid books.
Pretty good.
They're
pretty good.
But anyway, though, they say it in that like, "Oh, bugger me," like they'll say something like that. And I always thought that was like a word that they would say instead of like, "Oh, fuck me." But like also in the book though, like they'd be like, "Hey, don't curse, so don't be saying bugger." And I'm like, "Oh, that must have actually," because Bernard Cornwell's pretty historically accurate. And I was like, that must have actually been like a curse word of the time. But they kept using it in this one. And I'm like, well, they still say fuck in this show.
And Jamie used it and Claire got very mad when he used it. Like super mad.
Yeah.
When he asked it.
Yeah, he was like, did he bugger you? And then William was saying it to her at some point. He's like, don't worry, I'm not gonna bugger you. And yeah, so I was like, well, it doesn't mean fuck, because Lord John even said at the beginning, like, we were both fucking you. So I'm like, they're not afraid to say fuck in this show still.
Right.
Like we just heard in this episode. Yeah.
Well, no, because they already established that happened, and then Jamie asked that. So it's like, well, what does that mean then? So
yeah, exactly. And so that's what made me Google it. And
yeah, me too.
It's butt sex. It's butt sex is what it is.
Which now we know that Jamie, that's like, I think now his and Claire's like sacred, like that's just us. That's just us.
He didn't get in your bugger hole, did he?
I don't care about the other one. I don't care.
I don't care how many guys go through that one. But the back door's mine.
Yeah, so that was an
I think he even
moment.
said that. He was like, I don't care if 100 redcoats take your front door as long as I'm the only one in the
back. So anyway, yeah, so we learned something this episode. We learned. And if you didn't know that, now you learned.
You learned.
The more you know.
The more you know.
Yay, with a little rainbow.
Rainbow.
Buggered. The art of anyway. Listen, let's bless you.
Me.
We're gonna use that all the time. We're gonna
start using that.
Listen. So moving on from William, where are we? We're back with Jamie.
Jamie and
Claire. The scene just so raw and emotional. Great acting from both sides here, confronting her about what happened with John. Claire, like we've already talked a little bit about this.
Yeah.
earlier too. So,
but it's weird she doesn't like. I don't know. I can't remember if she said she's sorry or not. But like,
yeah, she's
basically like I was grieving, and I was gonna kill myself, and I was so drunk, and it just like something happened, and it sounds like she's not even entirely sure what happened.
Right, which I believe.
Yeah.
She was in such a state of grief, and she did try to kill herself. And stopped when she heard Jamie's voice.
Which, like, I feel bad, but like, I still think, like, if you're upset about something that you did, if your partner is upset about something you did do, I think you should at least say you're sorry. So I can't remember if she said that or not, but I think she should have at least said that and then been like, "Let me tell you what was going on."
You know? Well, I think her plan was to. Remember, she said, like, can't you just at least like get washed up and like eat before? Because like she's like, you're hungry, you need a Snickers bar. She really did. She like implied like, oh, you just need to eat something, calm down. And you know, I think her plan was to have this conversation on her own terms in her own way. And it's just not how it went because he found out first, and so he was pissed. Yeah, so great scene. I think at some point in this scene, like she's like, where? Because she's actually, that's another big thing that I think Jamie's having a hard time with. Is she's like, because she really cares a lot about John, and she's afraid that Jamie killed him.
Yeah,
and he doesn't like reveal that he didn't right away. Until the end, and he's like, no, I didn't kill him. I almost did, but I let him get taken by rebels.
Yeah, it's still.
And that's like the moment where he's like, oh. Maybe I should go figure that one out. I forgot about that. Maybe I should go.
Maybe I should resolve that thing. Check in on that.
And
then they cut to Lord John, like you said. I can't remember. We're gonna have to look this up. But the Rachel's brother, that other Quaker guy who was at the camp, he had heard from the head guy, make him presentable, make him stand on his feet, and basically alluding like we're gonna hang him. And so he gives Lord John a key or a knife or something.
Knife.
Yeah, a knife. So he saws through his cuffs, runs out of night. They see he's not in bed. They start chasing him down with the dogs. And they fire like a shot or two through the woods. And that's the episode. And
with just a shot and then black screen. So we don't know if it hit John. The music certainly implies. Oh, I'm sorry. They didn't really. Jamie didn't really have the urgency to go save him.
I'd say he didn't seem very urgent. I don't remember him being real. I feel like he was just like.
No, they just did it. They just did it on the table.
That's right. They got to it.
So they're having
that. They banged
with the montage of
Jamie just
John running away
while John is running for his life.
Oh man, Jamie's gonna feel so bad if John is dead.
Jamie waits like another day or two, just like doing it with Claire. He's like, I wonder how John's doing. You know what?
Jamie's just like everything in this time period just needs 2 to 3 days processing time, so we'll be fine.
It's like getting a Georgia license.
Yeah, exactly. Ugh. So that's how it ends. So I'm nervous because I really don't want John to die at all. John's one of the best characters in the show.
Yeah.
B, don't want John to die when Jamie and him are on bad terms either. Yeah. That would suck. So
exactly.
We'll see what happens next episode. Outlander really likes to make you think people are dead and then not have them be dead. So expect a very anticlimactic. He's not dead at the beginning of next episode or at the end of next episode. But maybe I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised though if some like really bad shit happens to John though. Like they catch him.
I know. Same.
And just they do bad stuff to him.
I still feel as good as this episode was and as entertaining as it was, I still feel like we haven't had something like that happen in a while. Something so like drastic like happen in a while.
Yeah.
So this could be it.
Yeah, but I hope he's all right, but I also hope the show keeps up this like momentum that it has, because this was so good. It was so fun. Everyone was great in it. It was just really well paced, awesome episode. Like we haven't been rating any of the other ones, but this is like for Outlander, this is like a 9 out of 10.
I was gonna say 9 out of 10 easily.
Yeah. Let's talk about some bro moments. I mean, prostitute, letting William just cry, finish
until she raped him.
Technically,
technically.
Yeah. I mean, if it was the other way around, like William's there, like, you're sad, and he just starts messing with her, gets on top of her, that'd be bad. Kind of rapey.
So anyway, I mean, technically. So anyway,
but William did say he wanted to. He did say,
yes.
He's like, I really want to, but I can't because I said I wouldn't.
That's not consent.
I really want it.
It's not consent, Steve.
So it's really confusing. But anyway, though, bro moment there. Bro moment. George Washington making Jamie I think a brigadier general. Is that what it was? The title. That was awesome. Also, to the Quaker guy giving Lord John the knife to escape.
Yeah. Oh, that was a major bro moment.
Also, too, in that moment, when I think he also offered, like, hey, I'll carry you out of my supplies. He did, and Lord John was like, no,
I'm not going to endanger you.
Lord John was he's so fucking cool, man. Other than when he's like constantly bringing up to Jamie's wife that, like, I could have buggered him. Could have buggered him real good. Could have buggered that Jamie real buggery. Could have buggered him so buggery. Other than when he's doing that, like, he is so awesome because he's like Ned Stark, as a British officer, basically.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah. Awesome. Also, anti-bro moment when John's former colleague is like, "Yeah, you'll be fine. I'll go put a good word in," and then he's lying to him. He's just like, "I'm going to hang you."
Yeah, I like that too. When Lord John was sitting there, and again, he already heard that these guys hate his cousin, and he got to get the vibe that they just want to kill him. Yeah. And he's still like sitting there, and he's like, I don't remember you saying any rebellious stuff when you were at my house, eating my food, doing this, and like, he's a prisoner. And his face.
I loved how defiant he was. He's like ready to die, but he's going to die with honor. He's like, I'm not going to die pretending I'm someone else. I'm going to be like, no, I'm Lord John Grey.
Yeah,
I'm Lord John Grey.
So fucking good. Like, Lord John.
Jamie tried, and you could call this a bro moment too, though. Even though Jamie was like about to kill him with his fists, once the other guys came, Jamie tried to protect him immediately.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, oh, he's my prisoner. Go away. He lied about who he was, but then John Grey was like, no, I'm John Grey.
Yeah. But he also, again, though, he did not seem very worried at all about like following up and trying to now correct to rescue John either. So
that was weird. I know he had a lot of other stuff going on, but he
had a lot of stuff going on.
I don't know if he just thought oh, they're not going to kill him. I think he thought he's going to be fine. I'll save him later. Just the 2 to 3 day processing time on everything. I got a few days to figure this one out. I'll be back.
Also, too, bro moment is Jamie sort of putting his son in place to save Ian.
Yeah.
There's so many good moments.
Good moments
in this. If I had to pick one, though, just because I was just watching. I was like, damn, John is fucking cool. I got to pick Lord John. Just sort of his whole demeanor, when he was being captured after he just had the shit beat out of him. Yeah. And when he told the Quaker offering to help him, he's like, no, I'm not putting you in danger. I've got to give all of Lord John, but if I had to give a specific scene moment, it's going to be that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's mine.
Awesome. Yeah.
You?
Favorite moment?
Bro moment. We got some bro moments.
No, yeah, bro moments. I mean, so many that we just said. I think you got to go with the Quaker helping John.
Yeah.
I think that's just too big. But I think another underrated one would be Claire just trying to reason with William in the room. Like, I know this is hard to take, but this is what I know, and this is what I can tell you, to try to help him, even though it didn't help. I thought that was a good scene. So, yeah, a lot of great moments. But I got to go with the helping him escape, because he put himself in a lot of danger there to do that. So,
and this guy is the busiest medical.
He's all over the place, man. He's just
assistant ever.
He better be getting paid good. I mean, like,
better raking that in.
Yeah.
Guy needs his oats.
Yes.
And I'd have to say, like, my favorite moments, either like the beginning episode when Jamie just decks Lord John, and I was like, oh shit, or like just all of William losing his shit moments. Like, that was,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna go with William losing his shit. Like, all of his moments where he's just like, he's washing his dick and smacking hookers and beating the shit out of cultural appropriated white people. Man, he was on one.
Yeah.
He was on one.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. No, just so many. I got to go with Jamie father-son moment to free Ian.
Yeah.
That's such a good moment. That's just such a classic, like, dad, like, I got too much other crap going on. You just do this now. Like,
he was like, I just found out.
I don't
You're
need
not
this
dad.
right now.
Might have buggered my wife.
No, but it was good. Good episode. Great episode. We got to wrap up here.
Episode. Thank y'all for listening. Let us know your thoughts on this crazy episode. This will come out either Thursday, probably, or Friday. So either the day before episode 13 comes out or the same day of. So before you watch that, though, let us know what you thought of this one in the comments to this video. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We're going to keep covering it. But yeah, it's like we always say, bugger me.
Always say it. Goodbye and happy holidays.
And happy holidays, buggers.